This is a Stock Trading Reality Podcast, episode 197.
I kind of want to make it to the point where I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm just yelling, support, resistance, and, where I'm just pretty much brainwashed with it.
This is the Stock Trading Reality Podcast, where you get to see the realistic side of a trader's journey. Get inspired and stay motivated by everyday normal people who are currently on their journey to trading success. And this is your host. He loves the one question penny stock pumpers can never answer. Clay Trader.
Yeah, the one question that you can hit penny stock pumpers right between the eyes with is, when it comes to prices going down, and namely, it's because of the shorts, it's because of shorting, it's because you're shorting, it's because of fill in the blank, but people shorting, and that's why prices are going down. And the question you need to ask them is, hey, let's just talk math. So mathematically speaking, how does shorting make sense in a framework of risk management? So once more, the question, mathematically speaking, how does shorting penny stocks make sense within a risk control fashion? And the true answer is it makes zero sense. Why is this the case? Well, if you're not familiar, penny stocks, they can move very, very quickly, hundreds of percents. And from the short side, if you're not familiar, all shorting means is that you make money when prices go down, but you make money when prices or you lose money when prices go up. So if something goes up hundreds and hundreds of percents, that means you've lost your whole account, and then more of your account, and then more of your account. Things can get out of control very quickly when a stock of that nature can move that fast against you. So when you think about it, that the best you can do from a short perspective is make 100%, right? Something can only go down to zero. But you can lose unlimited amounts. Why would you risk unlimited losses for a potential doubling of your money? Now, I short big boards, but the big boards I short are not going to, in an instance, move hundreds of percents against me, or are not, in the time span of a week, going to move hundreds of percents against me. There's a big difference, and that's where people, they kind of mix the two lines. But if you say, hey, let's talk a little math here, there's huge risk in penny stocks because they can go so fast against you. So why exactly would I want to risk that when I can just go and, for example, buy a put option somewhere? So, there's other ways you can go about it. But yeah, ask penny stock pumpers. Well, how do you actually justify, how do you explain, mathematically speaking, with an emphasis on risk management, how penny stock shorting makes any sense? And, this is all setting aside. First off, it would be super expensive to short penny stocks because it is so risky. So the brokers would tag on all sorts of extra fees. And then brokers, they're probably out there somewhere, some offshore, I don't know. But most brokers, E-Trade, Charles Schwab, they're not going to allow you to short penny stocks. So there is a quick little lesson there on shorting penny stocks and why it just doesn't make any sense when you are focused on the core principle that at risk is unlimited losses. And because penny stocks can move huge moves, well, that a huge move for a short means a whole lot of pain, potential bankruptcy. So why would you risk potential bankruptcy in order to just double your money? There's plenty of other ways in the market to double your money where you don't have to take on that sort of unlimited risk. But a penny stock pumper is they're not going to tell you that the actual reason the price is going down is because they're selling, they're dumping their shares. They need somebody else to throw under the bus. So quick little penny stock lesson there. As far as our interview, before I forget, which as you'll see, I told our guest at the tail end of this, but Ches, again, due to technical difficulties, is not able to join us here. So I'm flying solo again like I was last week with Mark. And today we are talking, because I do not have a mouse in my pocket. So I am talking with Jose, and in the chat room, his chat room alias is just Jose Juan with the letter Q. And he's got a picture of his kid there, which we do talk a little bit about. But he's got a great story. He's got a lot of things going on, and he's made a lot of realizations. And with these realizations, he's had to tap the brakes because he's in his real life, quote unquote, within his personal finances. He's realized that he needs to kind of prioritize some things, which I fully agree with. What he's prioritizing, I would say he's spot on. But a great example of somebody that's going about all of this in a very structured and rigid way, but in a way that makes perfect logical sense and perfect mathematical sense when you just stop and break down the numbers and all of that, which we talk about all that sort of stuff. So without further ado, let's hear from Jose. Jose, welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you doing, Clay?
I'm doing very well. Before we got recording, you were like, well, take it just a second. Hey, Clay, how are you doing? And I was like, well, yeah, that's true. I forgot. Sometimes I forget to greet people because I just know that I'm going to greet them when we do the recording. So Jose, from what I've gathered, is a very polite person. So this should go well. My hopes are high. So Jose, let's give a little background here. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. You've definitely been a member for several months now, but how long have you been a member of the community for?
I started watching you back in, I believe, 2013. That's
Oh,
when
wow.
I started watching your videos. Yes. It's been a long journey.
Yeah, when did you actually sign up though?
I actually signed up last year in September, I believe, around
Okay.
September.
All right, that would make sense because in my mind, I felt like you've been around for a while. So you've been around over a year as far as the community, but I did not realize that you've been watching the videos and the content since 2013, which is basically 5 years. So, well, this is good. This is awesome. I always learn something new about, each person's story and all of that. But speaking of stories, where did yours start? Where did you first hear about the markets? And what got you interested enough to, want to learn more and then eventually start to get more hands-on with it?
Well, I actually I started hearing about the markets from you. I did back in 2013. I had received some money and I wanted to invest it in some real estate. But some stuff didn't happen, so that fell through due to my taxes. I wasn't making enough money, so I needed to go back to work. So I still wanted to invest a little bit of that money because I needed a little bit of the money to go back to work to actually start my subcontracting business again. So I subcontract. So I needed tools again because I had sold my tools prior before coming out here. So I still wanted to, dabble my money in the market. So I got like about 10% of my money that I had. And my brother was investing into precious metals. And I had asked him about some advice on some metals. So I ended up investing in some metals. And I don't know if you're pretty familiar with it, but I know they have charts there. They have like line charts on there.
For precious metals?
Yeah,
you're talking?
Yeah, you know how sometimes they have a line chart and it tells you like the history of the prices and where it's been. And one day he came by the house and he gave me a card and I was with the card and I was playing with the card and I put it on the line chart. I'm like, oh, this is nice. It'd be nice to know if you could predict how to, like protect your investment on the dips. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure somebody's smart enough to figure out how to invest into the market. So I started Googling on YouTube pretty much, and then I ran into one gentleman first, and then he kind of talks about like how he made money, how he like just flipped $500 into yada 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 money. And then on one of his, I don't know if in YouTube you're familiar with it. Sometimes it gives you recommendations of other people that do kind of similar things.
Right, the recommended video list.
Yeah, and you came up with a board. I'm like, well, this guy has a board in the background. I mean, this guy's about numbers, so let's see what he's all about. And then since then I just stuck onto you, and I just been working, and then I finally fast forward around 2000 last year, around September, you had just started coming out with that pay as you go program.
Okay, yep.
And so around that time, in October is my birthday, so I asked my wife if I could have that for my birthday, and she agreed. So since then, I've been trying to trade, and I've been on this journey now.
Awesome.
Since then,
So let's rewind back here a little bit. your brother-in-law told you about precious metals, and it sounds like you did buy some.
Yes, my brother. Yeah, he did, and I bought a little bit, about like a 10%, but then um I got more into the day trading thing. I kind of like that aspect more. More of, I'm not too comfortable with having my money there for too long. So I like your kind of way of trading, that in and out scalping real quick.
So you learned quickly that, and this is a good point for you as listeners out there, is, well, what kind of trading do you want to do? Well, you really don't know until you kind of start to put yourself out there. And from what I'm understanding, Jose, it sounds like you started off at, I guess, what was the plan? You were going to buy that precious metal and hold it for like an investment, hold it for a couple of months, hold it for a couple of weeks. What actually was your mindset going in? How long of a did you plan on holding this?
I was planning on holding it for 5 years. I was really looking at palladium at the time. I don't know if at that time it was about like $400, I believe, or something like that. And I kind of regret not getting it now, but yeah, it went up to like 900. I'm not quite sure now. I haven't been quite keeping up with it, but I was thinking about holding it for 5 years. But then I started like reading books and then watching your videos, and then through watching your videos, I started like getting more interest into it, and I just started doing more research, seeing if it's something if it was actually possible for me to do. So I started reading books, started getting like audio tapes. So while I was at work, I listened to audio tapes, and then I just started selling um all my metals and everything, and just kind of started just more investing it into my tools so I could make more money, if that made any more sense. Because I started educating myself a little bit more, like, because you also got the PDT rule and other things that you kind of have to like overcome on scalping. So I kind of wanted to go that route. So I kind of knew that I didn't want to stay with the long term with the metals, if that made any sense at
No,
all.
it does. In fact, that's exactly how I started off, not with precious metals, but I got my introduction into the markets through a mutual fund. And then, like you said, you started to, it piqued your interest. So you start to dig a little bit. You start to maybe watch some of the financial TV shows. You start to just dig and dig. And before you know it, I was like, I don't want to do this mutual fund stuff. I realize the importance of investing and I want to invest, but wow, this stock market stuff is pretty fascinating. I want to get more hands on, which eventually led me to selling my mutual fund, and kind of the rest is history. So, yeah, no, that makes total sense to me, because we're in the same boat in terms of, you were clearly going on with a long-term mindset when you're talking about years. And, I was going in with a long-term mindset too. And now all of a sudden, it's amazing how, the door, just open up the door a little bit, and, it can just take us down a totally different path than what we probably even knew existed. So we're clearly, built alike in the sense of, yeah, holding is good, but holding for that long, I don't know. Now, like you said, you started to do research, you started watching videos, you started listening to audio tapes, and because you're talking, you started this in 2013, and you just signed up last year, which, by the way, sounds like you have yourself a great wife. Good birthday gift for yourself. But in between there, we're talking a good 4 years or so. So what exactly was occurring over that 4-year period from when you essentially decided you wanted to, start to get more active, until then until you signed up for the program itself? Were you trading with real money during that time frame, or I guess kind of filling that timeline gap?
Actually, I wasn't. I'm not. I don't like to gamble, if it makes any sense. I'm not comfortable putting my money in stuff that I don't understand. So to me, it would be like, I wouldn't know. The reason I did the metals because my brother kind of did it, and I was watching him. So, and kind of metals, I felt a little comfortable. I didn't feel like it was gonna go to zero anytime soon. So, um, but during that time, I actually met my wife, and then we actually ended up getting married and having a kid. So that got me a little bit more serious about, and be more serious about my money, if that makes any more sense, and my time.
Oh, with 4 kids myself, I totally understand. It's amazing how much a little human being that weighs less than 10 pounds, how all of a sudden that changes everything. So no, that makes 100% sense. So it sounds like you got married, you had a child, and then that's when you decided you needed to get that much more serious. But it sounds like you were pretty serious before that, or was the new child kind of the turning point that really got you that much more serious?
Well, what got me more serious, it was more the sense of I was more looking into real estate, and at the same time you were coming out with your real estate course, so I kind of fell in love with your real estate course. Um, um,
Wait, so you've taken the reals, or have you? Or am I confused?
I've actually
You,
taken
or
all
you?
of your. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry, what were you saying?
No. That's fine. There's somebody else I'm talking with, which apparently is not you, but they keep asking questions about it, and they haven't bought it yet, which is fine. They're just asking more questions. But I must be confusing you with somebody else because you have taken it.
Yeah, I've actually taken all your courses except for your private raising finance money one. I've taken your slab, and I've taken your real estate one too, and I've also taken all your CTU ones as well.
Oh, okay. I got to just ask. I mean, what did you get through the whole real estate one?
I
Because that thing's a monster. There's like I think it's like 55 hours of video.
I actually loved it, and it's actually, yeah, I loved it. It opened my eyes to, yeah, I'm a contractor, so yeah, it made me realize I was not making and I could make more money working for myself and looking for work for myself than having other people bring the work to me, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, as a contractor, what are you, carpenter? What exactly is what kind of contractor are you?
Well, I've actually dabbled in everything. I've been doing construction since I can remember. My grandpa has always had me do constructions in the summer, so usually my summers we would spend it doing construction. So yeah, to me it's like it's having fun to me. So I've done everything from flooring to everything. So I actually want to get into flipping homes. So right now I'm actually slabbing it up, if that makes any sense.
That makes perfect
Um,
sense. Slab away, my friend. Slab away. Absolutely. For listeners
yeah,
out there, I have on my personal finance site, moneywithclay.com, there is something called the slab money method. Slabbed standing for sleep like a baby, because when you got your finances, when you got a strategy for your finances in order, there's a lot of peace and calm that comes with it. And if you've ever seen a sleeping baby, I mean, that's the expression, sleep like a baby. So that is slab. So he is slabbing it up. And I got to ask before I forget, where in the country are you?
I live in Las Vegas
Okay.
actually, and Henderson, outside of Las
Okay.
Vegas.
And then my follow-up question, because here in Michigan and pretty much all contractors that I talk to, because I'm always trying to keep my gauge on the real estate market, keep my gauge on the economy. But as around here, contractors are just crazy busy. There's crazy high demand. There's not enough, workers. So, I mean, is it pretty crazy for you out there in Las Vegas too? I mean, demand wise, are you crazy busy?
I think it's everywhere because it's actually here. Elko has a lot of construction. Ely, there's a lot of outside little cities that actually have a lot of construction going on right now. There's a lot of construction going on right
So,
now.
in other words, you
Actually,
have plenty of work for yourself to do.
yeah, I actually saw a double up in rent just in these last what is it? I'm gonna say last 5 years, 6 years that I've been doing construction. All the new development actually it's almost going double in price
Yeah, real estate market I know is great.
to
Yeah,
rent.
and as far as contractors, it sounds like if anybody that needs a job or needs some extra income, learn a trade, learn some sort of skill like Jose here, because there is definitely not a shortage of opportunity within the world of construction and with the world of just the trades as a whole. So yet you're another person that's confirming that is definitely a skill that is worthy of having under your belt. Now, when did you take the slab course?
I took the slab course a little bit after you came out with it. I don't know the
Yeah,
date
when
on it.
I can't remember. So you
Um,
probably took it, I don't know, like probably 7-ish months ago, 6, 7 months ago. I think that's when I came out with it.
yeah, it was a little bit after the real estate one. So yeah, I took that one, and then I was trading at the time, so I ended up not trading anymore. I ended up pulling the little money I had in my account out, and I'm actually just concentrating on slabbing it up right now, so I could go back to trading. If that makes any
Okay,
sense.
that's kind of where I was wanting to figure out is a lot of times people take that slab course and they're like, all right, maybe I should kind of tap the brakes on things, make sure I get my personal finances in a good structured strategy, and put things into place here. So that makes perfect sense on why maybe you're currently not trading because you have higher priorities and wise priorities that you want to get taken care of first. So let's. I kind of sidetracked myself as soon as you started talking about real estate and all that good stuff, but you you signed up for about a year ago, as we've established, and were you were never trading real money at the time, which I commend you because you mentioned that you don't like to gamble, you don't like to put your money into things that you're not quite sure how it all works. So I mean, before you bought the program, had you made any real money trades, real money investments, whatever you want to call it, other than the precious metal, or is you never did anything like that?
No, I wouldn't even know how to start. I didn't even know what shorting was. I didn't have an idea what penny stocks. I didn't have an idea what nothing was. Like my idea of the stock market was pretty much movies, if that makes any sense. I don't know if that gives a good reference. Like
Oh yeah,
Boiler
so you
Room
just
and stuff like that.
yeah, you
I was,
were out there buying
yeah, it's
cigars and stuff like that because you figured you'd just be sitting back with your legs up on the table, puffing away on a cigar. I mean, if uh, that's funny. A lot of people are like, yeah, I had myself included. You thought that you watch all those Hollywood movies and then you kind of realize, oh, it's. I guess it could be like that if you wanted it to, but it doesn't need to be like that. Uh, that's funny though. Well, the good old world of Hollywood. So you knew nothing. Well, you knew some stuff because you were watching videos that whole time, like you had said. But you got into trade or you got into the education about a year ago, and you said you did the payment plan, right? Okay,
yes.
and you get in, and I mean, did you start right with the penny stock course, or did you go to robotic trading? I guess kind of walk us through, pick up where you started off at that point.
I pretty much did the way you recommended. I started with the robotic, and then I did the robotic sharpening, and then I did it as you were releasing them. So then I believe it's RVR.
Yep, that would have been with the
Um,
third payment. So you followed you followed the way I had it scripted out. For listeners out there, if you do get Clay Trader University, I map out. There's a welcome video, and within that video, it just says, "Hey, this is the order you should be taking things." But I always like to ask because sometimes people are jumping around, and it's just like, well, I can't say I'm shocked that you're a little confused or you're missing something because why are you skipping around? But I'm glad to hear that you went through things little bit by little bit. Now, on average, how long did a course take you? Some people are like, yeah, I got through it in like a week, and it's okay. That might be a little fast, but how long did courses take you? I mean, did you have any study tricks? Were you taking notes or anything? But I guess kind of walk us through how you went about the learning and tackling each of the courses.
it took me about 6 months, and even that, I think it was way too fast. And I was taking notes. I took about, I'm gonna say about 4 or 5 books of notes. I pretty much copied all your, you know how you have your little slides on each one. So I try to like write it down so I can remember it that way, and then remember it as you say it. So I'm doing it twice. I don't know if that makes any sense. And then it just I think I went too quick with it because on your live webinar, there's a lot of stuff that it should have been easy stuff, and then it made me realize I went through it too quick. So now I'm going through it again. I went through it again, and right now I'm going through it. I'm about to finish um The advanced options. I forgot the
Yeah,
name
no,
for
the
it.
advanced options course. Yep.
Simplify. The simplified one. I'm going through that. I'm halfway through that, and then I'm gonna go through it again. I kind of want to make it to the point where I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm just yelling, support, resistance, and where I'm just pretty much brainwashed with it, and it just becomes second nature. Uh, your webinars are the ones that really helped me out a lot and made me realize a lot of things, and kind of where I want to go with the market.
Yeah, and
I don't know
yeah,
if that
and
answered your
that's
question.
the kind of the hidden goal again for context for listeners. Part of Clay Trading University is weekly live webinars, and my hidden agenda, if you will, is to offer them as a kind of a mile marker, a thermometer where you can kind of measure how hot or how cold you are in regards to what you've been learning. So I'll throw out questions, and I'll throw out, it's basically a quiz in some senses where I'm asking questions, and I just let this should be relatively easy if you are doing things properly. If you are taking your time, then this question should be glaringly obvious. And as Jose has just said, yeah, sometimes it wasn't quite that obvious, which told me that I probably went too fast through the stuff. And good, that I appreciate that feedback, because that is one of the goals, is definitely for me to give everybody, like I said, that baseline to compare whether or not they're actually understanding, or if they're going too fast, or certain areas maybe they need to review. So good. That is very, very encouraging. And I mean, I've seen your name pop up time and time again. You're pretty much on every webinar, aren't you? I mean, I feel like you don't miss too many.
From what I've known, I have not missed one since I've signed up.
Okay.
That to me is like a religion. I make sure I show up to at least the Thursday ones,
Nice. So
ones,
it's Tuesday night church for you. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm shocked. Well, first off, that's awesome that you haven't missed a single one. I knew you were at a lot of them, but I didn't realize that you have literally been at every single one. So that's great, and you're clearly working hard, and that's why I was excited to talk with you here. But have you done any real money trading at all since you've bought the courses?
I did right after I went through the courses. I did open up an account. But it kind of like I started with something that I knew I was like, yeah, if I lost it, I didn't care, just to kind of see how to place orders, how to put in advance orders, and yeah, I didn't blow up the account, but yeah, it wasn't nothing big. But I ended up taking out most of the money out, and just ended up using to try to like get rid of my unnecessary overhead and just kind of minimize my overhead, and then just go back at it and concentrate again back on trading like that. I have time already invested in it, going through the courses again and just the webinars and just taking my time this time.
And who is your broker? Because I know that's always a question, is who is your kind of opening broker that you started with, with those initial real money trades?
Tasty Works options.
And did you what were your thoughts on them? Did you like them? Did you think, was it pretty user friendly? I mean, what were your kind of quote unquote newbie thoughts?
I did. I like them. I just, the charts and for charts and stuff like that. I kind of for a beginner, I mean, it's good. I mean, if you're planning on swing trading, I think. But for scalping and that kind of thing, options, it's not gonna work too easily. It's gonna be very hard. I do have a chart provider. I use uh, Trading View. So I do use them on top of. I was using them on top of them. So I was using Trading View as my chart provider, and then I was using them to execute trades.
Nice. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's definitely a common question. Is, well, who do you use for your charts? Who do you use for your charts? There's no right or wrong answer to that. It's certainly a matter of personal preference. You like TradingView. I also like TradingView. I use eSignal, but that doesn't make Jose wrong. That doesn't make me wrong. That doesn't make him right or me right. It's just a matter of personal preference. And I would agree, at least as of the recording of this, So, I mean, if you're listening to this episode and it's, several months from, December when this will release, December of 2018, yeah, I don't know, maybe Tastyworks has done some new updating to their platform. But as things stand right now, like Jose described, if you're looking at short-term scalping, day trading, then that's not going to be the platform for you. But swing trading, using options in that manner, yeah, they have definitely a quality program for that. So starting off money wise, you said you didn't blow up your account or anything. Was it, winning trades here and then losing trades, or was it all losing trades? I guess, how did that trading actually go? Like I said, I realize you said you didn't, it's not like you blew up anything, but was there any sort of consistency at all, or was it just pretty much all losing trades, or just, kind of back and forth?
It was a little bit of back and forth in the beginning, and then I realized I was scared. I was trading scared. And then on one of them, it just kind of, you probably got an email from me, and you, after this trade, I'm pretty sure you probably don't remember, and you just kind of told me to just keep trade trading. But I remember putting in an advance order, and I went for like a swing trade on Walmart, I believe it was. Yeah, it was Walmart. I remember it was Walmart, and I ended up putting my stop loss a little. I in other words, I didn't know how to put my advance order correctly, so I ended up not putting in my advance order correctly, so it ended up costing me another 80 cents on it. I had it like at 20 cents below from where I had my original trade, and yeah, that was a learning lesson. So that kind of, my account wasn't that big to start off anyways. It was like $800, so it wasn't nothing too big. At the end, I ended up losing. I ended up getting being red to about $200, 200 and something, and then with commissions and everything, so I ended up pulling out like 500 and something out of it, and I just left like a couple dollars in there, like $10 or something like that, just so in the future I eventually want to go back into swing trading options, and I kind of would like them to use them as a platform. I kind of like their platform for swing trading because they do have the nice little views for it that gives you your lines. I don't know the exact term for it. It gives you your deltas and everything. It gives you a nice little platform for like swing trading, I believe. Yeah, but it was a lot of back and forth. I remember making about $10 here, losing $5 there, $20, making $15 here, and then losing $7 there. So it was a lot of back and forth, and it was a lot of a lot of scared trading.
That was perfect, because I was going to circle back around and ask you that. Right when at the beginning of that question, you made the comment, and I learned I was trading scared, and then you just kind of go on. So what do you mean by trading scared? So that's question number one. And then the second is, how exactly did you finally determine and finally realize that you were indeed trading scared? So kind of a two-part question.
Oh, on one of them, I ended up taking a little win, and it ended up moving how I was expecting it to move. So I was a little scared because of that prior loss with the Walmart trade. So I ended up moving my stop loss a little in an area I shouldn't have been in, just so I could make sure I collect some profits. So then that kind of like, yeah, opened minds a lot too. It's like, yeah, I'm never gonna make any money that way if I keep just taking small wins, because guys were actually talking about stuff like that in the webinar. So a lot of stuff that you guys talk about relates to stuff that you actually feel. A lot of guys talk about the same thing, so you kind of like work your way through their problems, if that makes any sense.
No, what you're describing is exactly it. And maybe listeners out there, you can relate if you've traded where I thought it was going to do this, but then I got myself out of the trade too soon and it did that. So as a listener, raise your hand. Have you ever sold too soon and only to see the price go in your favor? Well, that's just basic psychology, and it's trading scared. I like how you say that, Jose, because what happens is oh, I see green, and you see green, and you're thinking, well, I have green right now. Therefore, if I get out of the position, I get that green, meaning it's a winning trade. Yeah, that's true. That sounds good. But if it's just a smaller gain or something of that nature, and then all of a sudden it actually does happen, like Jose was saying, where it really goes in your favor like you thought it would, well, you're out of the trade. So that green you did get could have been a whole lot greener. But I mean, it makes total sense from a human psychology perspective. So it's not like you're an idiot to do it. And I say you as in Jose and you as in listeners and myself, because I've done it plenty too. It just makes you a human being. I mean, we want to be successful, and especially when it comes to money that we've earned. So when you see money that you've earned grow a little bit, and you know that it has the potential to actually shrink, meaning you take a loss, well, I don't want to see that money I earned shrink. It's actually grown a little bit, so I'm going to get out. Well, the problem is it's just a little bit, and that's just a very tough way to go about things. Unless you have a super, super, super high win rate strategy, then yeah, maybe a bunch of small to modest wins will keep on adding up for you. But, it's trading scared. That's essentially what it is. Trading nervous because you don't want something bad to happen. And hey, if I see green, that's not bad. That's good. Therefore, I'm just going to capture that green. And, but I mean, how long? I mean, that was you beautifully explained it. How long do you think it took you to actually realize that indeed was the problem?
Well, that and then the size too. I think size. At that point, trying to trade with one scalper with one almost nearly impossible. I mean, it could be done, but yeah. So I kind of want to come in with a little bit more size this time, and just take it serious this time. Not that was, I could say it was more like just kind of see what if I could do it in the market or so, if I could actually trade. And it's something you can do with options. So yeah, I don't know if that answered your question.
It does. The one thing I would complain about is you want to take it serious this time. I would argue that you took it plenty serious the first time. And my proof of that statement is that, yeah, it's not like you were making money rain from the sky, but you also didn't blow up your account because you were focused on managing risk, controlling risk. So I would say that you were a whole lot more serious than what a lot of people are when they first get started, where they're just running around like a chicken with their head cut off and, blowing up accounts and doing stupid stuff, myself included. So I know what you mean in serious in terms of, well, this time I want to come back with the ability to trade more contracts than just one. So I'm going to get serious in that regard. But also, I don't want you to think that, because from what I've heard and just hearing about your results, yeah, you're taking things plenty serious, and that's great. That you realize things. You realize that you were trading scared, but while you realized all this, it's not like necessarily like it was costing you money, because you were making money, but it's not like you were having any sort of huge losses either. So that's definitely an overall, trend in the upwards direction in regards to how you'd want to be approaching things. Do you have any sort of goal in terms of how many contracts you want to be trading when you get back?
Eventually, at least 2 contracts, at least 2 to 3, and at least the ability to do at least $5 of contract. That like Telsa and all that, they trade a little bit more on the $5 end when they're at the 3-day expiration date. So I want to be at least $5,000 or a little bit north of that. To at least, I think that's a decent size, to get 1 or 2 contracts and just try to scalpel with that, maybe even 3 later on once I feel more comfortable. That would
you're definitely, it's a valid problem, and I would argue that you're going about it the right way. I want to trade more than 1 contract, but I can only afford 1 contract. Okay, fair enough. But my counter to that would be, well, what can you do to afford more than 1 contract? And what you can do is go start trading ticker symbol JOB. Maybe pick up another ticker symbol JOB and start to apply some financial discipline, which again, I know that is what you're doing, given you've taken my personal finance slab course. And you are, over time, growing your ability to be able to afford more than 1 contract. And, it's one of my biggest pet peeves out there, which, Jose, gladly you're not in this camp. But people, well, I can't afford it, so I'm just going to do this. And you replace, quote unquote, this with something that is just illogical. It's dangerous. It's way too risky. But they're only doing it. They're using their justification of, well, I can't afford it. Therefore, my only option is to do this. My only solution is to do that. It's like, well, no, that's not true. You have other solutions. You could actually build up your account through saving up some more money, through going out there and earning some more money. But a lot of people, they don't want to hear that. They want to trade like right now. I want to trade like within the next week. I don't want to hear that I have to, I don't want to hear that the wise thing to do is actually to go save more money or earn more money. I just want to start right now. So Jose, I commend you for your wisdom in recognizing that, you know what, I want to trade with more than one contract, but the only way I'm going to be able to do that is I just got to get a bigger account. And I can get a bigger account by earning more or saving more, or better yet, a combination of both. Do you have any sort of, I don't think you answered this. I apologize if you have said this, but do you have any sort of time frame in terms of when you're forecasting, or when do you think your account will be big enough to be able to, trade the way you want to? Or is this more of right now of just the money's there, but you need to make sure that you feel fully confident in the education?
I would say probably based on the numbers, because I want to pay off some stuff out first that I just don't need to have on my overhead right now. I want to get rid of that. So based on my numbers, as soon as I pay that off, then I'm gonna start trading. The 5,000 should be easy to put together. I already have half of it, so yeah, no, that's not the real goal. To tell you the truth, I would like to eventually start trading stock straight up. I wish they would bring down the PDT rule or something like that, so we don't have to go all the way.
Don't even get me started on that, Jose. Worst rule ever.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wish they would at least bring it down or something, at least make it. Yeah, but eventually I would like to go more to your style. I feel more comfortable your kind of style of trading. The reason I'm going to options because it doesn't take that much contract, and you could kind of like manage your risk a little better. Especially that I'm new right now. I feel comfortable as long as I'm not selling premium, I guess. As long as I'm buying premium, I'll be all right. I don't feel like I would end up blowing up my account. Even my contract goes to zero. I mean, as long as you know what you're doing. But yeah, eventually I would like to go into trading stock, hopefully by the end of the year. So hopefully by in 3 months I'll be trading options again. And then hopefully in 3 months. But as soon as I get this done, then I can start trading again. That's my role right now, because it kind of messes with your sidekick too. Have to make money, and you have to make a certain amount. I mean, if you slab it up, you kind of don't have to worry for a little bit. So yeah, I'm just gonna go that out for a little bit until I get it, I guess, done. If that's a good answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Now you said by the end of the year, but as of the recording of this, it's essentially the beginning of December. So that's only 1 month away. Do you have some sort of different year in your personal finances that are you going by like some sort of different quarter or?
Oh, I'm sorry. In 3 months. I'm sorry. In the first quarter of the month, I'm trying to get everything done by the first quarter of the month of next year. Yeah, okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. All
right. So March of 2019 is then what your goal is.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. All right. I was like, wait a second. I mean, I'm not like a mathematical genius, but I would have liked to have thought I could understand that 3 months, but yet it's only 1 month till the end of the year. So, okay, good. Clarified. So that's your goal. So it sounds like, and that's the power, again, to circle back to personal finances here a little bit. When you actually have a plan in place, and when you actually start to, be responsible and have a strategy for your numbers, then you can start to do forecasting where it becomes very reasonable for Jose to sit here and say, yeah, I know that in 3 months, or I know that in, fill in the blank amount of time, I'm going to have this amount of money. And then you can, that's why personal finances is great, because you can start to manipulate the numbers and say, well, if I do this, then, oh, wow, it'll go even quicker. Or if I do that, it'll go that much even quicker. So, I mean, but it all starts with, actually having a plan and strategy in place up front. So March, you want to go with options, and then you eventually want to work your way into stocks. Is that correct?
Yes, I feel more comfortable with stocks that 15, 25 cent, like scalpels. I feel more comfortable with that. I did paper trade that style for a little bit. I didn't do it too much because I didn't want to get into the habit. I didn't want to get in the habit of that's how I'm gonna trade. So I kind of stuck back to my original way of trading, my original plan. But yeah, that to me feels more comfortable.
Okay, yeah. What master one thing at a time for sure. So I would fully agree with that decision to just tap the brakes and let's get really good at options trading first. And who knows, you could get to the point where options trading. It's like, wait, why would I change from options trading? I'm doing really well with it. So right now you think that may be the goal, but if you can figure out options trading to the point where now you have a big enough account, well, I don't know, why would you go to stocks if you got your account big because of options? You might as well just keep trading options if that's what led to the account growth in the first place. But you never know. That's kind of the interesting part about this whole trading journey is it's always going to vary from everybody to everybody. But the one thing I've learned, including myself, is you may have a long-term plan, which is good. You definitely need it, but sometimes things don't always go according to plan. And I thought I was going to be a penny stock millionaire, but that didn't happen. So that was my plan, and now
the muffler company.
now I'm trading big board stocks, and scalping them. So total change of direction. And you mentioned you wanted to clear out some overhead. I don't need specifics. Is that you just trying to clear up some personal debt? Is that essentially what you're trying to get out of the way?
Yes, I got into a little bit of debt for tools because I kind of needed. I got rid of all my tools when I moved out here from California to Las Vegas.
Yep.
So I kind of needed to start fresh. And I don't know if you're aware with tools, they're kind of expensive, and then you kind of have to replace them once in a while. So yeah, I just need to pay off some.
First off, I agree. But I don't know. To me, that's not really. It's a debt. But I look at that as more of an investment because you're getting a return on that investment because those tools are giving you the ability to apply a skill that you have, and that skill that you have, others are willing to pay for. So I get it. It is a debt, technically speaking, but I'm glad it's not like, yeah, I just bought some, I don't know. I bought some couch and I had to finance it. It's like, okay, well, a couch isn't really an investment of any sort. So good. Yeah, tools, I would say, good investment. And it sounds like you're plenty busy, so you're getting a return on that investment. And it sounds like you will be able to have them. Is that really what it's boiling down to right now? You want to get the tools paid off for, and then then you can start to pour that money into your trading account.
Yes, I just want to pay that off, and then I didn't have a vehicle at the time. I did have a vehicle. I had a 91 Honda that I was fixing up. And then with my daughter in Vegas, it's really hot. So, and then with construction, you can't go with that kind of vehicle in the construction. So I ended up getting a vehicle. I kind of want to pay that off too by the middle of the year too. So I just don't want to have any overhead. That's the only thing I want to have is my mortgage, pretty much.
Awesome. Yeah, you are definitely slapping it up. I love it. And I'm motivated. I'm glad that you have a very clear-cut plan, and you're putting some goals in place for yourself. Now, when you do go live with trading, are you still planning to work your current job as a contractor? Are you I guess what is your plan as far as your job situation goes when you do go live with trading again?
Well, actually, I would like to just trade in the morning, just enough to cover my overhead, and eventually I would like to start flipping houses. So I would like to invest. You know how I eventually wanted to invest into a house.
Yep.
I still with that plan. I'm kind of happy I wasn't approved because taking your course made me realize there's a lot of extra little money I would have left behind that would have added up a little bit. So I kind of want to do what you and Nate are doing, just kind of how you start your first one, where you just flip your your own house and then either use the equity from that or sell it or do what Nate's doing and just sell it and go to the next project. Just get a real ugly house. The uglier, the better for me.
Yeah. So you're like I talked about in the course, where are opportunities that leverage at? And you have the awesome leverage opportunity at the fact that, well, you know how to do that stuff. So you could, like I said, buy a piece of trash house that's ugly, fix it up, build that sweat equity into it. And yeah, you're going to be in a much different situation, but in a good way. And let's see, Las Vegas, Eastern time. Are you guys 2 hours behind Eastern time?
We're 3 hours behind from you.
So you're on Pacific Coast time?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So then that would make sense. So if the markets open up here at 9:30, here being Eastern, yeah, that I would say that's very viable because you could technically start your day trading at 6:30 a.m. and even at 2 hours, that's still only 8:30 a.m. where then you could go, have 2 hours of trading, which is plenty of time, and then go from there and do your real estate or your normal contracting work. So yeah, that's a very viable plan, and that's why I'm always jealous of people that live in the other time zones, because if you want, you could totally trade and then still work a full-time job because the markets open up so much earlier compared to here. But that makes sense. And I always like to ask people, I'm like, well, let's make sure that this is logistically possible. But yeah, from a logistics standpoint, that's totally doable. And am I understanding this right? That's your goal, is because you're 3 hours behind when the market opens up, you'd have plenty of time to trade before you go do your quote unquote day job stuff?
Yeah, that's my goal, to eventually do it from like 6 to 10, and then from 10 either work at the project that I'm in at my house or just go to my project that I need to go do or whatever. When I'm working, I usually just do that at 10 o'clock. I cut it off and then I just go to work.
Okay, yeah, and
do whatever I have to do for the day.
And I mean, it's your life, so you can take this with a grain of salt. But I would definitely say that make sure you still have your normal job when you get started with the trading in real money, because that'll definitely be a good mental easer. That's not a real word. It'll be very good at mentally easing. There you go. The whole thought of, well, now I need to make money because I don't have a job. But yeah, if you're still, is that your plan though, that you do want to still work, where other people are paying you for your contracting services?
Yeah, if I could. Yeah, I'm always looking for projects.
Okay,
yes.
Good.
If anybody has a project, yeah. If it doesn't interfere with what I'm trying to do, yeah, I'll take the project. And if it's something, viable, then yeah, I'll take the project. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Okay, good. And I would remember, I mean, even if it does interfere with the trading, and this will just be an extreme example, but if somebody is saying, hey, Jose, I have a job, it's going to pay you, like I said, extreme, $25,000, but that job means that you're not going to be able to trade for, I don't know, let's just say the next month. I really hope that you would take that job for $25,000 because, unless you think you can make more than $25,000 trading for that month. Does that make sense? I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You still would what? You still would focus on trading?
No, I'll still take that job and trade. What do you mean? I'll figure a way out.
No. I mean, if I'm telling you in this example, it's going to be impossible for you to trade, but you're getting $25,000.
For how long you say?
I'm hoping you would say, I'll take the $25,000.
Yeah, I'll take the $25,000. Yeah, if it's, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you made the comment, well, I'll take any jobs as long as it doesn't interfere with my trading or what I'm trying to do. Well, just remember that it may make sense for you to. I love the ambition. I love that you're all gung ho about the real estate investing and the trading.
Yeah, I should have gave.
But you also.
I should have gave you more content on that. It's because my wife too. She just got a new job and they're actually sending her to school. So you know how you're saying that there's a lot of companies out there that are looking for people to work. There actually are, and they actually will send you to school as well. So right now she's at school, so I have to take care of my daughter as well. So I have
all right.
Father hat to wear as well. That's why I say that.
There we go. That does offer in some more context. Out of curiosity, just from this is real life, good personal finance stuff. What is your wife? So your wife is the company is paying for school, or is the company paying for school and paying your wife to go to school?
Both. She's paying for
both.
Yes, paying her.
She's double dipping. I love it.
Yes,
See, all right,
I love it right now.
You're gonna send me on a rant. This is why I don't want to hear your excuses. There is no opportunity. This or that. Listen, and this is I've done plenty of podcasts about this on my Money with Clay podcast, where if you learn a skill that people actually want, and going and getting a degree in modern dance theory, there's not really a high demand of skill for that. But if you go and decide that you want to learn a skill that people want, think about this. Jose's wife is not only getting paid, she's also getting her schooling paid for. So she is getting paid to go to learn a skill that people want to actually hire her for. What is this? What is she learning? What is she going to school for?
For I believe journeyman for it's for construction, but for general for industrial. Sorry, industrial construction. For like the industrial work and yeah, I'm more residential and commercial. She's more of there's nothing there and they need power and major stuff built. That's who they call.
And clearly there is demand for that. Clay, how can you say that? You don't have any data. I have people are not going to pay somebody and then also pay for their schooling if they're not going to get some. Remember, employers act in their self-interest. So if an employer is willing to pay out somebody to not only go to school, but also pay that person while they go to school, clearly they believe that's going to be provide a very good return on investment for themselves as employers, as a company. So I love it. That's good stuff.
To give her credit too, she has been trying to get into that program for 3-4 years. She did get pregnant, and I ended up snagging her to work with me for a little bit. But yeah, she did work for it too as well. You have to work for it too.
No, I fully agree. But you also have to work to get a 4-year degree in modern dance theory. So I would argue she's working smarter, not harder. So yeah, everybody's got to work for something, but sometimes it's like, really? You're working for that? Oh goodness. But anyways, this was looking at the time. I don't even know where the time went. We're almost at an hour, so we have to we got to move into the fun questions. Now, Jose, I asked him beforehand if he listens to other podcasting, and he has, so you know what's coming your way. But I'm trying to think here. What do we normally do? We normally do the time machine first, and then we do the fun question. That's right.
I don't know.
Time machine.
I don't know. Ches will like.
Ches is not here.
We're just gonna steal it.
You know, it just dawned on me. I never told you that it would just be you and I, did I?
No, you did not.
I didn't. I just realized that. Well, Jose, as an FYI, we've had some logistical, technical difficulties with Ches and his mic. So he's not going to be joining us for this conversation. It's just going to be you and me. Is that okay?
No, that's fine with me. I'm gonna.
All right. Wow. I'm a jerk. I'm a total.
You're fine.
Dawned on me. Well, last week with Mark, it was a one-on-one. So I don't know. I guess I figured that you would know that it would just you and I. So have you been confused this whole time? Like, wow, Clay's sure not letting Ches ask any questions. Have you been wondering where Ches is this entire podcast?
No, I kind of figured because there's sometimes in the podcast where he doesn't come out, where he has for some technical reason or something, he has something to do, he can't make it. But normally he's on here. But I figured that something like that happened, or it would have been nice to talk to him. But hopefully we'll talk in the future or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but normally I tell the guest right up front, hey, Ches is not here for X reason. It's just gonna be you and I. Is that okay? But I totally forgot to do
You're
that.
You're on beast mode. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Oh man, woo! I'm slipping. I am slipping. But anyways, so I'm gonna borrow Ches's time machine. And if I could lend you that time machine, and you could go back to, some part earlier on in your journey, what would be the one bit of advice that you'd give yourself?
Wow, this is going to sound cheesy, but I guess I would just kick myself in the butt and be like, just invest in CTU as soon as 2013, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, great. Now, Jose, everybody's going to accuse us. Yeah. This was rigged. He was paid to say that.
Main shares.
I promise Jose has not been paid anything. But trolls are going to troll. Haters are going to hate. Some people say, no, that was paid placement, but it is what it is. You can only say so much. But no, and it's not cheesy because I would say probably the vast majority of people have said, you know what, I wish I would have focused more on my education sooner. I wish I would have gotten extra serious about my education sooner. So I don't think that's cheesy at all. I mean, it wouldn't be cheesy for a doctor to be like, you know, I should probably focus on my education before I go and do surgery on somebody. I'm pretty sure the entire population, and certainly the person that's going to have surgery done on them, would say, you know what? I like that logic. That seems like good, sound logic to me. But yeah, good stuff. All right, now we move into the fun questions. So, Jose, what is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Wow. You know what? I'm gonna throw you an old school one. Let's see if you probably remember this one. Revenge of the Nerds. Do you remember those? The series?
I do remember those, and I've seen bits and pieces of them, like when they've been on Saturday afternoons, but I can't say that I've actually ever sat down and watched a Revenge of the Nerds. But it sounds like you would recommend I do that.
It was, well, back in the days when I was a kid, it was probably fun because at that time, I believe 7-Eleven was giving out those 3D like glasses, you know, those paper ones, and then you watch Revenge of the Nerds in 3D, and it was kind of fun. So I don't know, it was just a thing that I was probably fascinated when I was a kid, and it stuck with me. But I don't know, give it a try, maybe. Who knows? It's one of those.
It might be one of those things also where you're, like for me, you remember the TV show Full House?
Yes, I do actually.
Yeah, I mean, I like love that show, loved it. And then I tried watching it like a couple years ago. There was old rerun. I'm like, this is the worst show I've ever seen. This is so cheesy. This is so bad. But I don't know. I guess in some ways age makes us crusty. But yeah, maybe I'll have to give it a try. But I will let my wife know that Jose also said that it may totally backfire on us because he's not still sure if it would actually be good or not. But when he was a kid, he thought it was good. So good disclosure there. That's a friendly reminder. So I can hold you accountable if I watch something and it's like, well, that was just not good. But at least we know it was good when you were a kid. What about food? What do you like to eat food-wise or main menu-wise and then dessert-wise?
Ooh, wow. Well, I'm kind of a fatty, but I would say food-wise, you know what an acai bowl is? Have you heard of that?
Maybe. Is that like a Chipotle bowl?
No, it's pretty much like you know what acai is, a fruit?
No, I can't say I do.
It's a berry. It's like high in antioxidants. You kind of make like a cereal out of it. You blend that with some other fruit, like banana, honey, and some coconut water, and then you throw some granola with some banana in there. However you like it, you can make it. You know, it's not a specific way, but the main ingredient, it's acai. That's pretty good. And then, yeah, I'm a donut lover too. Yeah, I love donuts. Yeah.
We're gonna. Whenever we do a meetup out in Las Vegas or someplace close, you and I are gonna have to go have a donut eating contest or something. But all right, good man. Bond over donuts.
Have you ever heard of? I'm sorry to interrupt. Have you ever heard of Mount Charleston?
Mount Charleston?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. Mount Charleston is right outside of Vegas. I know you guys are into like climbing and going.
Yeah, we're definitely into outdoor activity. I have not. Is that a place that you would recommend for some hiking and climbing and outdoor exercising?
I would. I love it. I love going out there. You could go biking. You could fly airplanes. You could go rock climbing, hiking. There's a lot of things to do out there. It's real nice. Real nice.
That sounds nice. That sounds like it would be a quality use of time. So I appreciate that. And I'll have to remember that Jose is in Las Vegas so that you can offer up some suggestions if we ever do get out into that neck of the country. But final question here, 3 words. And these 3 words need to describe what you would associate with, you know, what it takes to be a successful trader, what a successful trader is. So what would those 3 words be?
Ooh, I give these some thought. Self-awareness, concentration, and passion. Yeah.
You know, I'm sure somebody said, I mean, this is episode 197. So I'm sure somebody has said concentration before, but I don't know if anybody's ever said concentration, but you're absolutely right. That is something that needs to be focused on for sure, because if you're not concentrating, or if you're concentrating on the wrong thing, things can go bad in a hurry. So yeah, those were some very, very solid words. Well, Jose, thank you very much for hanging out. And again, my apologies for totally not telling you that it was just going to be you and I, but I appreciate you telling your story. I appreciate the game plan that you have in place. That's motivating to me. It's hopefully motivating other people that, hey, where there's a will, there's a way. And, there's strategies out there that you can put yourself in and your personal finances in that short term, yeah, it might be kind of painful and annoying, but long term is definitely going to set you up for success. So well done in that regard. And thanks again for hanging out.
No, thank you, Clay. And not in a cheesy way. No, you've been a lot of help. Honest to God, yeah, you've been a lot of help. I appreciate.
Well, good. I'm glad
I appreciate actually you being very hard on us on the webinars. I'd rather you give us a kick in the butt in the market. I mean, I'd rather you kick us in the butt than the market hitting our wallet. That's a little bit more easier to swallow.
I think I'm going to have to steal that line and start to use it on the live webinars. Be like, hey, what's going to hurt more, me kicking you in the butt or the market kicking you in your wallet? Not that I necessarily feel guilty about it, but yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know. Did my adrenaline take me too far? But it sounds like you totally approve of the pants kicking. That can be. It's not every webinar I'm getting on people's case, but yeah,
no, you
good.
give us singing too. You give entertainment. It's a beautiful atmosphere. It's a beautiful atmosphere.
I try to be humble, but I know that I am the songbird of our generation. So I figured if you've paid to be part of the university program, I will serenade everybody now and then with just beautiful music. And I'm not going to let you talk anymore because I don't want you. You can just nod your head that I am the songbird of our generation, because we all know.
Appreciate it.
We all know that is the truth. But yeah, thank you again. We'll definitely have to have you back. And yeah, keep up the streak, man. I like it. Tuesday night church, going to the live webinar. So that's good stuff. And I'll see you on those. I'll see you in the chat room and all that. So thanks again, Jose.
No, thank you, Clay. Appreciate it. Man.
Before you go, listeners, a final few things. First off, if you are listening on the YouTube channel, make sure to check out the rest of the channel as a whole. There's other things besides these webinars. See, my mind is all over the place. Besides these podcasts, there are live trades, there's vlogs, there's all sorts of other content on the channel. So be sure to check out that. And hopefully you decide to ultimately subscribe to the channel. If you are listening on iTunes or any of the other podcast players, subscribe so you know when new content is available. And especially on iTunes, if you could leave us a rating, that really, really helps us out. And we truly do appreciate it. So if you could do that, like I said, it helps us out, and we thank you for it. And then finally, if you're listening at claytrader.com on the show notes page, make sure to click that share button. And down below the video, we have an area for comments. So if you would like to share questions, suggestions, critiques, anything like that, we pride ourselves on being interactive with those that reach out to us. Look no further than the YouTube comment section. I try my best to reply to every comment out there. I miss them every now and then, but you'll see, we do try to pride ourselves in being interactive with people. So leave us a comment. We will read. We will reply. Thank you again to Jose. Thank you again to listeners. We will see you back next week.
This has been the Stock Trading Reality Podcast. Thanks for taking the time to hang out. To learn more about Clay and the Clay Trader community, including the trading team, premium training, and more, visit claytrader.com.